listening, tailoring, and taking into consideration those pains and implementing the fixes for those pains resulted in 90% user adoption within the first quarter of the usage.
There is a myth that Salesforce is not suitable for small businesses.
Salesforce has different type of licenses, and you can start as little as Essential, which is the smallest, right? The cheapest. Don't tell anyone.
They figure out that they don't use it because their Salesforce looked very complex. They didn't know how to use it.
This is the risk that every second client has.
Welcome back to the Pro Salesforce podcast. I'm your host Sergii, a Salesforce consultant here at Synebo. Today we're going to talk about Salesforce for small and medium-sized businesses. We'll discuss challenges they face during the implementation and review some real-life examples from our experience. My guest today is Anna, project manager at Synebo. Hi, Anna.
Hi, guys. I'm happy to be here.
I'm glad to have you here today. Before we start to talk business, could you please tell us about your background in the Salesforce ecosystem?
Yeah, sure. So I've started my journey as a project manager at Synebo, hence with the Salesforce, in around 6 years ago. And before that, I've worked as an operational manager with an international exchange program company. That actually now, with this experience, helps me to understand our worldwide clients, and now I can easily, communicate and put the path with them. So yeah, that's like brief experience.
Mm-hmm. Could you also describe your experience in working with small and medium-sized businesses?
Many of projects that I manage relate to small or mid-size businesses, and it's actually just like any business. If you want to exist, if you want to be on the market, right? If you want to be competitive, you need to constantly progress, improve. You need to develop, be modern, and that requires some improvements IT-wise, right? Some automations, improvements of processes, going digital if you haven't. So it doesn't matter which size business, you need to continue to improve, to accomplish your goals, to grow, to stay on the market, especially with times like we have right now, where everything is digital.
Mm-hmm. And following our topic, there is a myth that Salesforce is not suitable for small businesses. And can you tell us how Salesforce CRM is actually suitable for small and medium-sized businesses, and what specific business challenges does it address for this segment?
Yes, it is a myth. That's 100%, because Salesforce can offer many things from starting from small to huge businesses. What Salesforce can offer even small businesses, that would be centralized customer data, right? So you can actually, Salesforce is a platform that has that can have everything inside, so everything in one place, and it can centralize this customer data even for small or mid-sized businesses, for starting from sales rep and finishing the customer support, right? That is one of the benefits having Salesforce. Then Salesforce allows you to automate a lot of things a lot of repetitive tasks that your team, that your workers can do daily basis, and they usually spend time on that, right? And automating that with Salesforce actually allow you to free up your time and your team time to grow your business. And of course, one of the germs, one of the biggest strengths of Salesforce, I would say, is it's their dashboards and reports. That's what Salesforce known for hugely, and that's what they've polished so well. And this feature, right? This I don't know. This process of building properly reports then give you the data that you can analyze and again grow your business.
So, so you're actually telling that this like famous Salesforce 360-degree view is available even for small businesses, and even they can afford it. And how exactly we'll discuss a little bit later.
Yes, that's true.
Can you tell me what advantages might lead small businesses to select Salesforce over other CRM platforms?
Yes. So Salesforce is huge for allowing customizing your platform, your org, right? So you can easily customize it, but you can start from small. You don't need to. Other platforms are they are also right. They would be pre-built, but they would be not as flexible as Salesforce for the exactly your business needs. And what Salesforce is good and known for is any business it can be a bookshop or a huge medical company, right? Pharmaceutical company. So they all can customize to their business model and to their business processes. So that is one of the advantages, is huge customization opportunities, as well as scalability. So let's say you started small, but then you've grown tremendously, right? And then you can scale. You don't need to stick with what you've developed for the model that fitted the small size of your business. You can scale it and grow. Another advantage would be the fact that Salesforce is on the market for so many years. It has built its own ecosystem. Many other companies like Google, Slack, I don't know, QuickBooks, and all other applications, right? They have already integrations with Salesforce. So you don't need to think, oh, how am I gonna connect my Salesforce database with the QuickBooks records, right? Or with Google Documents, or with Facebook, or like you name any big company has integration with Salesforce. So, and it's already pre-built. Those companies put an effort to have integration with the Salesforce, and you just go to their market app exchange and you pick and choose what you use or what you would like to connect and start using. It's huge. The third one would be the community and the support, the size of the support, because you have a trailblazer community with Salesforce. For those who know, it is hello Trailblazers. For those who don't, it's a huge platform. It's a community where people can communicate, raise their issues, seek advices, find answers, etc., as well as Trailhead, which is a platform where you have already I don't know, 99% um, of the information, how to use, how to manage your system, and it can hugely help with training your staff. So yeah, and well, this the last one I would name AI, which is we have AI fever right now uh, everywhere. So yeah, Salesforce is also constantly improving, and AI is one of the recent launches that they've represented, and they have AI offered at every level of their product. So let's say you started with a small licenses, right? And with small usage, right? The small amount of AI will be available for you. And then if you grow, of course, it will extend, which I find it's nice. What about you, Sergey?
Yeah, I would say that, as you mentioned at the beginning, Salesforce allows you to use it right after you purchase it. So you don't even have to like spend time on the customization, or you can customize it like in parallel. So you can purchase Salesforce and start to work on it, start to create some records, start to work with your database, and in parallel you can customize the system in Sandbox. So this is the huge advantage. And yeah, I agree with you. You mentioned all the integrations that are available, and they're really easy to build. Um, I'm referring to one that have packages in the App Exchange, and it usually take I don't know 30 minutes, maximum 1 hour to establish the integration. And you mentioned the Salesforce Trailblazer community. Yeah, it's a really powerful thing, especially if you, for example, if you don't have premium support, or you just want to figure out it on some issues on your own. Uh, Trailblazer community is it's a great thing. It's a great place. I spent a lot of time there.
We all do.
Yeah. But let's start from the like very beginning. Like one of the first challenge business face is a license selection. And what practical advice can help small businesses to choose the most suitable Salesforce license based on their unique needs?
That's a good question. And choosing the right Salesforce licenses should start with taking a step back and understanding two things. First is your business goals right now at this moment, and what is the current team structure, right? How many people you have on your team, what are their roles, and all that. And with Salesforce, again, breaking the myths, continuing breaking the myths, Salesforce has uh, different type of licenses, and you can start as little as essential, which is the smallest, right? The cheapest. Don't tell anyone. Right. So you can start with essentials or professional licenses. But you need to keep in mind they are budget friendly. However, they lack of customization, and there are certain limits, right, that you reach with those licenses. But again, you can already start using that and start using out of the box Salesforce features, and see how you like it, right? And of course, with an enterprise licenses, which we all love, it's a bit more expensive, but it worth every penny because it opens completely. It opens another door for you using Salesforce, and it can you can hugely customize with those licenses, right? And but first you need to again answer yourself a question. um, what would be the immediate need for those licenses. And understanding the needs would be vital in the deciding on the license type. And one of the great thing that Salesforce offers, and you've mentioned it already, that's a trial period. I think it's awesome because Salesforce offers free trial period for almost all type of licenses, and you can contact Salesforce, get this free trial, start using the system right away, and then you can already even customize, and then you decide whether you like it or not and whether you want to pay for it or not. And many of our clients started like that, and they've stayed with Salesforce. And of course, we as company, right? We at Synebo offering analysis of those paths and of those types that would be properly to use. And experts like Sergei knows the back doors and knows the how to cut corners sometimes. So yeah, don't hesitate to come to us.
Yeah, I would just add that really, as you mentioned, you need to see the full picture. You need to understand the need, and this is exactly what we can offer you. So we can do the analysis of your business processes. We can talk with your stakeholders. We can understand the need, and then we can suggest you with the most suitable license, the most suitable edition that you need. And again, as you mentioned, you can start with the simplest one, the simplest edition. You can start to fulfill your database, and then you can, as you grow, you can scale. You can, like, for example, first year you can use the simplest solution, out of the box functionality, and then the next year you can purchase more licenses and then customize your Salesforce. But your database will be with you like from the very beginning, from the first day. And I think this is it's like the best advantage of this cloud-based CRM system. Let's move forward. Could you please provide a high-level overview of Salesforce implementation process with like each step simplified for our like non-technical audience?
Sure. So just as any development of any platform, of any, I don't know, product, any feature, it's more or less standard software development lifecycle. So you start with requirements analysis. You discuss with the business the need, and you analyze those needs, and you, in the next step in the planning, you plan the how to implement those, right? After planning, it goes the architectural design. So once you've planned what is needed for your platform, it is essential to build it properly, architectural wise, so then you can scale it in the future. We need to think about that. Of course, after the design, there comes software development stage. Once you've developed what you will use, you will need to test it. Once you test it and you're happy with the result, you're deploying that to live. You release it to life, right? You start using it, and you release it for your customers. And then the cycle goes, it's like a loop. You goes any improvements, you repeat the cycle. Any miss I don't know, like bugs or missing lack of the requirements, right? You've missed something, and you need uh, to add the development feature. You need to return to the cycle, to the step one, requirements analysis, and then you go with the circle again.
So basically, is the like usual development life cycle, of course, with some Salesforce nuances. Uh, But if you're familiar with the software development, it wouldn't be like rocket science for you. And of course, Salesforce specialists like us, we can lead you through the whole process. What common challenges arise during Salesforce implementations, such as data migration, user adoptions, or establishing some integrations?
Yeah, those are actually my, I don't know, my favorite challenges.
Yeah,
if
yeah, in
if
quotes.
yes, if you can say like that. So the data migration is huge challenge, because moving data from old systems to Salesforce, it can be tricky in I don't know, 85% of the cases for me was more or less tricky, right? For our projects, especially if we're dealing with something that is incomplete or messy, if there are some duplications, if this information was stored in many places and would repeat itself. So
Yeah,
yeah, data
curious,
migration.
especially if your old system wasn't Salesforce.
Yeah.
If it even wasn't a CRM system, if it was some Excel
Excel.
documents, yeah. It can be very tricky, but
Yes.
I just finished one of the data migration projects yesterday, and it's always tricky with the date time fields, with some things that you not even expect, with some even text fields that in like different languages. It's always a challenge.
Yes, but it's a good challenge, and I like when we accomplish successfully the data migrations, the pleasure that comes, right, that you've accomplished something and that you've I don't know, saved the world one more time. The client's world, because that's for them, that's a huge thing, and having those data properly migrated, that's a huge common challenge.
Yeah, because they will use this Salesforce, like from now on they will use it and maybe forever, and so it's very important.
Yes, I agree. Well, the second would be for me is user adaptation, because changes are difficult for everyone, for any person. Like if you are changing, if the change even not coming from like from your own wish, it is challenging, and the user adaptation needs to be considered, right? And we do not need to like neglect that, because any CRM and Salesforce as well is good when the users, when people are using it. If there is no use, there is no success, there is no bringing help for the business and for the people. So yeah.
Yeah, I would like to add here, if users don't use it like fully, it will affect everything basically. It
Yes.
will affect their KPIs. It will affect your database. It will affect like the quality of your data, and so on. Like it will really affect everything. And we actually like at this step, we actually provide some training, some guidelines. Like I always create some guides per each business process. Then we can schedule some training sessions with different users, with different departments. Then we can also provide the support like afterwards, with the challenges they can face. It's really user adoption is really important step.
Yeah, I agree. And well, what would be your common challenges? I'm wondering.
I think like each step has like its own problems, or let's call them challenges, and it's hard for me. It's hard to isolate just one, but I would say it's very important to involve the other side, the client side, because they should be interested in the changes as much as you. So it's really important that you work as a team. So if they face any issues, you should solve it ASAP. But you should also provide them as much as possible with the assistance, with the training, with the guidelines. But my personal pain it's that data migration. Like I can't even count how many times I did it, but it's always something new. Like as I mentioned, you can perform the same steps, but for some reason simple daytime field will appear in, I don't know, in different time zone, but you already inserted million records, and then you need to do it again and again and again, and those just like these small technical issues is the main challenge for me, and it's always like a first time despite how many times you did it.
Yeah, but just with a little more experience, right? That
Yeah.
you're not afraid of any obstacles. You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
know
of
that
course.
that's the way.
Yeah. You just face the issue, and you're trying to solve it, and like it's a path. There is no like there is no finish. You just like samurai.
Yes, yes, I was about to say samurai has a journey.
Yeah.
Yes, we are samurais working with Salesforce.
Yeah. Salesforce summaries.
Yes. I would say I would add also the common challenge. I just remembered the integration with other system. I would say that it is one of the common challenges, and having experience in knowing how to um how to fight this challenge is needed, because I've mentioned before when we talk about licenses that about the not the licenses, we've talked about what Salesforce has to offer to small businesses, and that's on App Exchange. There are many products and there are many packages that can integrate with Salesforce. And from one product to another, the integration process would be and connecting will vary and would be different. And sometimes it's not always smooth, it can be complex. And that's where you need the team of professionals to help you and to assist you with custom APIs, for example, involved. Or it's not always you're going to a market, to App Exchange, pick the product, click 3 buttons, and voila. Sometimes you need a team to assist you.
Yeah, it depends on the integration. It depends on the integration. Like to establish integration, yeah, you can just do several clicks, log in, and that's it. But if, for example, you're connecting DocuSign, you need a DocuSign specialist who will prepare templates, who will, I don't know, add the relevant buttons to the page layouts, and will support the process when you, for example, change the templates. You need specific specialists who know this integration. If you connect HubSpot and you don't have any HubSpot specialist in your team, it will be challenging. So it always depends on the integration.
Yes, yes. But
And
again, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I just wanted to say that myself and my team, we work with the most, I would say, general integrations. As I mentioned, like DocuSign, HubSpot, Slack integration, Outlook, Gmail, all these things that like almost every client has or want to have. So we have experience with it. But if it's something that we never worked with, it can take a bit of time to figure it out, and it can be a challenge. Yeah.
Agree.
So let's move on. What specific risks might emerge during a Salesforce implementation, and what strategies can help to prevent or address these issues?
Yeah, well, just like any project, not even like IT project, right? Some issues may arise, and the good experts and professionals with the experience that they've gained through the years of working with systems, they can make your journey smoother. Um the common risks would be like my top three. That would be the scope creep, meaning adding too many features during the implementation. It can easily overwhelm the team. It can delay the project. You may think that adding here and there some small requests will not harm the project, right? But that's actually a huge risk, and emerging it, we need to stick to the roadmap, to the clear one that we are implementing first, like I would say MVP, minimal viable product, or like essential features first. And once we've done it, we can build up on that foundation more and more features. And so yeah, this is the risk that every second client has, if not the first one. If it's once you start using, once you start even testing what is already pre-built, right, almost ready for release, the ideas come into your mind. Oh, I can improve here and there. Oh, I think this would be a good way to update or to change, and it just, this cycle can go forever, and it would delay the release of the product, the release of the feature, or finishing the first phase of the project. So yes, keep the clear roadmap would be like a mitigation for this risk. Then I would highlight the data security, and Salesforce known for its secure ways of storing, of communicating, right, of with the external system. But again, from the inside, you also are storing data, and you need to be very careful with especially sensitive information. It can be personal information of your users, of your clients, customers, of your leads, and without robust security protocols, there is a chance for for breaching, right, and for losing the data or compromising that. And for mitigating that, of course, there is a backup as a step one, right, to have it, and ensure the compliances with relevant regulations such as GDPR or HIPAA. So yes, nowadays security and taking care of your data and of your clients' data is an important one to think of, and to plan how to mitigate it, and to be prepared before it happens, right? And of course, the third one for the risks would be underestimating customization needs. So we all know that Salesforce has to offer a lot of out-of-the-box features, but many clients and many companies, they need to customize more or less, customize those solutions, and underestimating the effort to customize, or the need to customize it, right, to fit specifically your business, is one of the risks. And to mitigate that risk, it can be easily mitigated collaborating with experienced partners, and identifying realistic customization goals.
Yeah, I can add a little bit here. uh, if you, especially for the small business, it's very important to understand what Salesforce offers to you out of the box. For example, you would like to have some customization. You want to customize some business processes, uh, and you like stick to one plan, but it can cost you a lot of time and money to customize it the way you want. But maybe Salesforce offers you a different way of the like some same business process, but a different way how to do it, and maybe it will work for you, and you'll just need to train your users and do some small out of the box customizations, and that's it. And you can save a lot of money actually. But sometimes, clients want some features just because they want them, because they saw them in the internet, because they saw some. Salesforce has a lot of features, and they release them constantly. And when you want something because it's like it's popular or your competitor has it, but you don't have any understanding why do you need it. Like I can understand if you have some pain points, you have some issues, and you want to fix them, and maybe some of the new feature can cover this. Yeah, in this case, of course, but you need to always do a step back and understand how Salesforce um, wants you to follow their process. They'll build it. They already build it. You just need to understand it. You can figure it out on your own using some, Trailblazer community, Trailheads, and you can always ask your like experienced partner, like us.
Yeah. And I wanted to add to that. First of all, I agree 100%. And sometimes in Salesforce way that they've built it, it would fit, or it is the proper way of handling certain pain point. So they've already spent their effort to solve it for you. It's better to try it out and then to see if if it fits if it fixes your problem, right? And then just give it a try, and then you can work from there.
Yeah, like for example, instead of developing some custom component that can take you, I don't know, 50 hours, 100 hours, you can try to use something standard and maybe understand that, yeah, it like doesn't fulfill your like expectations 100%, but you can add another field there, you can add some automation there, and maybe it will work for you, especially for the small businesses. Of course, if you're a large enterprise, you can invest time, you can invest money into the processes that you specifically need. But for small businesses, I suggest to figure out what Salesforce offers to you out of the box. Okay, let's move on to another question. Could you share some examples from your experience, from Synebo's experience, that illustrates challenges encountered and solution applied in Salesforce implementations?
Yes. So we've just talked before about data migration, and this challenge, right? The data migration headache, and the risks, the fear that because it's the fear comes first. The client has already the
Like operational system, yeah.
yes, something that is working, and it's so hard to let it go, to trust the process uh, to professionals, and to migrate that. So one of our clients had this customer data scattered across multiple legacy systems, like multiple. There would be even some non-digital systems. Let's call it this way. There were duplicates and incomplete records. So there was a headache. But we've conducted a thorough audit and performed cleansing process before the migration, of course, under supervision of the client. So we were transparent with every step that we are doing. It's not like we are hiding any steps. When it comes to the data migration and it comes to the something that is sensitive for customers. I prefer to have 100% transparency and access to the process for the client, so he can trust and he can be happy with to check whether we are doing the right thing or not. So we've conducted the audit, did the cleansing, and of course the final step is using the Salesforce tools, data loader, and there is also Salesforce inspector, and we've migrated that system, and now the client is happy.
Yeah, and I think the data migration projects are really popular right now because more people realize that they can utilize Salesforce even for small businesses. So this is why we face it a lot now. And it's like a year ago or even 2 years ago, the popular project was the automation migration of the old automations like workflow rules, process builders into the flow builders. And at some point of time, it was also a really popular project, and we did like tens of them. Yeah, so the data migration currently, it's can you say that it's like one of the most popular issues you face today?
Yes, and it also depend on how you properly manage this challenge. The successful usage of later on of Salesforce also lays, because without proper data, without using the Salesforce daily basis, you will not feel the benefits that Salesforce offers. And I agree.
And let's talk about the team, the optimal team that you need for the implementation. And let's focus on the small and medium business right now. So let's can you say the minimal team that's necessary for successful implementation?
Well, the minimum would be my ideal minimum would be 2 persons. So the project manager that can also fulfill partially the business analytics role, right? To support clients and to reveal the needs. And depending on the project, depending on the client, it can be the declarative developer, aka administrators, or Apex developer, like code, I don't know, backend, who is more technical. We can use the terminology for implementing. So it all depends, but the minimum essential, I would actually advise and start with declarative development, which is having admin Salesforce administrator on the team, as well as project manager and BA. That would be the minimum.
I will be more realistic that minimum is usually just one Salesforce admin. It depends on the project. I know if it's a data
Yeah,
migration
but
project, it's not possible for one admin to fulfill it. But it's really popular. Then there is one dedicated admin that supports the project. Let's.
I
You mentioned
agree.
the optimal.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
you've asked my
Yeah, of
personal,
course.
optimal, and I am a project manager, so
Yeah,
for me it
yeah.
is optimal to have me on the
Yeah,
team.
I prefer when there is a project manager involved because there are questions that technical specialists couldn't answer, and there is always a ping pong between
Yes.
the project manager, admin, and client.
Hmm.
Um, Tell me about the optimal team, like the usual normal team that need
Yeah.
to fulfill the implementation.
Um, that would be project manager. I will start
Of
from
course.
that. Yeah. Then there would again be admin and um, optimal project manager, admin, developer, so backend developer, those who write code, and the QA, with a thought in mind that it does not need to be 100 allocation for each of the specialists, right? So that would be ideal to have it on a team and to delegate specific certain tasks and activities for the professionals to fulfill. So yeah, that would be ideal.
And what's the maximal team? Yeah,
So
a
yeah,
small business I cannot afford it, but like let's
yeah.
imagine.
Let's imagine. So the full speed maximum capacity team, on top of the PM, admin, backend, I would also add front end. Oh, QA. I would add front end developer and consultant and architect. Uh, I wanna say that even like at Synebo, I like with my team, I like the approach to have a little bit of maximum in a meaning that if I see the need for an architect to come and to advise for the better solution, uh, I will go and I will have just a minimum couple of hours of consultation, can save the project, can improve the project, can highlight the some issues, some I don't know pitfalls that the team might not have seen because they are not architects, right? So that is. What I like to do is to have a little consultancy with architects, with consultants, and then to come to the client with a better approach, with a better solutions. So with small businesses, yes, to have a full speed team constantly working on you, that's not an option. It will eat a lot of budget right away. However, have an approach with just a consultancy will work.
Yeah, from my point of view, I completely agree with you, and I think that in each project, despite the scale, if it's not the simple support, I would say, like if it's a simple support project, one admin is more than enough, and if it's needed, of course, we can involve more specialists. But from my point of view, I think the Salesforce consultant and project manager is enough. And then when you figure out the issues, you can involve admin if you need. You can involve developer. It always depends on the tasks, on the issue, and the consultant will be the best person who can figure it out, who can think about the best solution, and then involve the specific specialist that need it. But sometimes uh, there is a specialist on the client side, and it's amazing when it's like this. And if there is someone who really understands the issue, and they can say that like we need a developer to fix this, it can save them some time. Uh, but from my point of view, I think consultant and project manager is the best approach for any business. Could you tell us about the key responsibilities of the project manager during Salesforce implementation?
Yes. To say in high level, that would be managing the project, which includes communication with client, with team, envision the project. For us at Synebo, that also monitoring and submitting reports, assisting with documentation. There is project manager documentation, but there are also some activities that project manager monitors and help the team to accomplish with their around the implementation activity. There would be a technical documentation, or some, if we're talking about QA, there would be documentation that with the test cases, etc. So that would be a daily base work, but we can have, I think, the whole other podcast theme just about the our work and our responsibilities daily basis.
Great. And
Oh, and Sergey, I want to ask you, how does the Salesforce administrator support the implementation process, especially for small and mid-sized business focused projects?
yeah, it always depends on the scale of the project, but usually Salesforce administrator, especially in my team, is capable of handling, I would say, 95% of the issues. They're able to figure it out on their own and provide client with the solution, with the estimates. They can like fix almost like any issue. But if they face any problems, they always consult. I'm talking about my team, so they always consult with me. So I can guide them. I can like lead them through some solution. I can provide them with some tips. If it's something I don't know, super complex, I can involve another specialist, and then when they have the solution, they can go back to the client, explain it, and implement it then. But usually Salesforce administrator can handle most of the daily issues, especially if it's a support project. They can talk with the stakeholders. They can analyze the business processes. They can translate it into technical requirements. So they can do like a little bit of everything from each role, because like from my point of view, Salesforce administrator should be like a universal specialist. They can do almost everything, but mostly focus on the declarative implementation. So I see it something like this. And let's talk about I would say my favorite thing, my favorite topic, the best practices. So what best practices and proven strategies can ensure a successful Salesforce implementation? And maybe you can include some real life cases.
Yeah, so I would highlight and put on the first spot is assembling the right team. Um, Implementation isn't just for IT project, but it's a business transformation, and your team should include cross-functional stakeholders, right? The stakeholders from different departments. It might sound little big, but the stakeholders that are doing different roles with your company, right? So in one of the projects, the client sales team, they did not feel connected from the CRM setup process, and we've fixed this issue by bringing the team lead of sales to the design phase of the implementation. So we helped tailor the system to their workflow. So we communicated directly with the stakeholder, and we took all the insights that they have to offer, and they share their pain, right? Their pain points. So listening, tailoring, and taking into consideration those pains and implementing the fixes for those pains, the medicine, resulted in 90% user adoption within the first quarter of the usage. That's after the support of the project. So that is a very right approach, and best practice is to not stick to just one person who really loves Salesforce on the client side and who eager to add the Salesforce into the use, but to actually talk to different roles and to analyze what pain they have, and then offer them how Salesforce can fix their issue. And that is, I think, is important. What about you, Sergey?
Yeah, I actually had the similar case when sales department wasn't really involved into Salesforce. They didn't use it much. There was like lack of data, missing opportunities, missing some required information was missing from the opportunity records. There were opportunity records without products. So it was a mess. And from our side, I talked to head of sales department. I talked to all stakeholders with the head of sales teams, and I figured out that they don't use it because their Salesforce looked very complex. They didn't know how to use it. There were a lot of redundant components on the pages, on each page. Like I'm talking about the standard objects like account, contact, lead, opportunity, but they were overwhelmed with the unnecessary functionality that they don't use. Like the simplest thing, there were a lot of related lists that they don't even know what they mean. Some standard things with news, with some integrations. They don't even know like what the purpose of this. So I figured out what they need, what they don't need. I removed all the unnecessary trash from the user experience, user interface. We wrote a clear guideline of simple business processes that they should follow, like create opportunity, add products, and so on, so on. Some simple things, but all teams did it differently. Now they do it like they have one guideline. All the teams all over the world follow the same guidelines, and also from the manager perspective, they decided to measure sales team based on the Salesforce data. So it means, yeah, you you have some closed won opportunities, but if they're not in Salesforce, we don't count it into the KPIs. If it's somewhere in the Excel sheets, it's excuse me, but like it's your problem. You should insert it into Salesforce. And also, we established integrations between Google Sheets and Salesforce for those users who still don't want to use Salesforce. But yeah, it sounds funny, but it actually was really helpful because some of the users continue to use their daily routine using the spreadsheets, but all the necessary data was in Salesforce, and managers were able to measure the sales teams and their KPI and their productivity.
And Salesforce has a solution even for those approaches.
Yes, and we had like some funny case when Salesforce is like usually like we make fun of this, but Salesforce replace spreadsheets like a lot. But one of the clients wanted to like actual spreadsheet on the record page. It was fun and very interesting. So you have a record page, and in one of the tabs you have Excel spreadsheet. But yeah. spreadsheets, like I think, will never like fully replace them. S- some users still like spreadsheets.
Yes.
All right. Let's try to sum it up. So, Salesforce provides customized CRM solution that work well even for the small businesses and for small and medium-sized businesses, and it helps to address various challenges. Choosing the right license and following a clear implementation plan ensures a smooth setup tailored to your business and your budget. Common obstacles like data migration and user adoption can be managed with the prepared team and proactive strategies. And examples that we just told you shows that we can help businesses to navigate these challenges, making Salesforce a flexible and, what's important, a scalable solution. For guidance on your CRM journey, Synebo offers consultations and expert support at every stage. Thank you, Anna, for participating. And thanks for our listeners for tuning into today's episode. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. And please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to ensure you won't miss any future insights. See you in the next episode.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.